Headline: It's about time they were told. Globally, noted skeptic watchers are converging via useful collaboration and cross-fertilization of insights, and decades of long-term historic data collection and observations. Skeptic watchers are converging on some very clear, firm conclusions regarding the incapacity of pseudoskeptics to evaluate evidence. This was announced recently by Victor Zammit in his weekly Afterlife newsletter. And skeptic watchers everywhere would give Victor's major conclusion a very loud hear, signifying consensus agreement. Now, Supreme Court lawyer Victor Zammit didn't list the many reasons why pseudoskeptics can't evaluate evidence. It's such a long list. He simply stated the bald fact. Victor's carefully considered conclusion with Winston Wu is axiomatic. Now here is a supplementary opinion explaining why pseudoskeptics just can't evaluate evidence. It's the elephant in the room, skeptic watchers. You are all so polite and positive and balanced and don't want to say negative things. Don't want to label people. So I will do it for you, guys. Pseudoskeptics don't evaluate evidence, like any honest jury, because they have a criminal personality. Their main crime is simply lying full-time, and perennially, the mark of a criminal. They judiciously, note the irony, always oppose by arguing off-point. By circling the point so many times, and insisting that any ridiculous mundane shallow alternatives are better than the common obvious truth in the center of the picture. They basically color in the picture anywhere, and everywhere, but in the central truth area, inadvertently, and tacitly displaying the fact that they know the truth, as we all do. And precisely its position, and standing. They just can't verbalize the truth. The pseudoskeptic gets away with his perennial lying behavior in the public domain. There is no penalty there, and in fact there is often profit for lying. But in a courtroom, if they continue that full-time behavior, they could end up in jail for lying in court. Perjury. Lying under oath. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? That is the one thing that criminal personality pseudoskeptics cannot normally bring themselves to do. Speak only the truth. It's tempting to insist their desire to deceive everyone they converse with is simply physical brain dysfunction, and they can't control their mouths. Like Tourette's, or stuttering, say. Dyslexia perhaps, but they color in the picture all around the truth, don't they? Emphasizing it. They basically speak upside down. They argue everything that is not the truth, not the point in question. But if there was a serious penalty for lying about their evaluation of ESP data, such as in a court, I am sure even pseudoskeptics could verbalize the truth out of the fear which is so great in them. Their public domain lying is certainly a criminal act, but they are petty criminals doing only that, as they lack the gumption, the courage to take any real risks. Susan Blackmore, High Priestess of Skepticism, sitting on the right-hand side of James Randi, at Skeptic HQ, CSICOP, describes pseudoskeptics as dysfunctionally timid males, in Wikipedia. But pseudoskeptics commit the softest of crimes, public domain lying, for which there is no risk of retribution whatsoever. So risk-averse are they? And from their viewpoint, they can't lose any contest, because they never actually engage, never actually face their opponent's contention. They argue off-point, dancing around the ring, due to their risk aversion, and the fact that they don't need to know anything of the subject, if they argue off-point, and just confabulate. And it seems to them they are scoring points. Emboldened by apparent anonymity and safety, behind a remote keyboard, leads risk-averse online pseudoskeptics to aggressively, often hysterically denounce religious people and proponents of ESP and afterlife. Restated, it is dysfunctionally timid, cowardly, feeble-minded attacks on average people that pseudoskeptics make, mostly by the criminal act of lying. When major qualified scientists do it, this lying, there is almost no penalty whatsoever. And indeed there can be major payoffs such as research grant money, not to mention drug company profits. Big Pharma is regularly caught committing major fraud, lying, in scientific research. It's okay to call that organized crime, isn't it? And so it happens, at the big end of town, we consider that criminality normal, and down at the local skeptic club, but mostly online, pseudoskeptics are just amateur wannabe criminals, just too scared, too feeble, not positioned to do anything more adventurous than absolutely risk-free, public domain, lying. They get their little thrills that way. That's their life. So skeptic watchers, I think it's about time we called a spade a spade. Pseudoskeptics and skeptic groups, and leading public domain magician skeps who practice this lifelong denialism are essentially running a lifelong petty criminal enterprise, wasting their lives, while the rest of society grows happily, effortlessly keeping their eye on the evidence, central to the picture. Victor Zamet's simple axiom states that pseudo-skeptics are automatically disqualified for making their endless off-point counterclaims, as they are proven incapable of evaluating evidence and verbalizing the result, as a courtroom demands, to enable justice to function, setting pseudo-skeptics apart from the rest of society. I think we should put this to them, guys.